I'm in a I'm in a hill town in Molise with all these big verdant hills, and on every hilltop there's a town, like a medieval or Renaissance-y town. It's crazy. It's just beautiful and very, very peaceful. People have been so kind. So I'm having a really nice visit and
Great.
thinking a lot about writing and thinking about your writing as well. So how is everything going, Melanie?
I don't love what I submitted today. I think I'm still struggling a little bit with what we talked about the last time I was in the group about what's the story about. And I have not done that spreadsheet of chapters yet. I
Mm-hmm.
do that, but that question's still kind of like gnawing in the back of my mind.
Yeah. I could feel that. I could feel that you were struggling in this chapter. So, and that's okay. There are just times when this is going to happen. And I have some thoughts for you, which we'll get to in a minute. And how about you, Alex? Are you feeling good about what you're up to right now?
Um, okay. These chapters are hard. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I looked at your notes and yeah, get it. Totally. Um, the the one I'm working on right now is have rewritten it. I'm working on the plague chapter right now, which is right after this one, and it's like it's just emotionally really difficult to write. Um, you know, just
Because
death, just death after death after death, and like just getting it's like it's like emotionally difficult to get me into that state constantly, to write
Mhm.
about it without going too far into, um, so it's,
Getting too dark.
yeah, I mean, Melanie, honestly, the chapters for next time, you might like, I don't know.
Trigger warning.
Yeah, yeah.
Alex, have you ever used a song to help put you into a certain kind of state of mind?
Yeah, sure, sure.
That might be a trick to try.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like,
A place you don't want to be.
right, right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get it.
Like, um, but I've also just had to rewrite it a bunch of times just to figure out where to start. Um, so I think I've got it now, but it's just a matter of kind of doing it.
Well, the difficult thing, I think, for us as writers is that we do pull from our own experience a lot, and it can be painful to explore some of these things for our characters. But remember, you are one step removed, and then you can compartmentalize a little bit. Whereas if you were actually going through these experiences yourself, it would be a different story. Um, but I had wanted to I had wanted to discuss sort of immersing uh, in our characters and story worlds today a little bit and being present in them. But I'm hesitant too because you're talking about immersing yourself, Alex, in a very dark place. But let me start. Let's see if we can work it full circle and come to some sort of helpful, um, actionable feedback for you both. Um, the one thing that I've learned, if I haven't mentioned yet, for anyone that will be viewing this eventually, I am sitting, I am in Italy for several weeks visiting family. And the one thing that has been so interesting is the pace is so different. People are always saying piano, piano, which just means slow down, take a breath, easy does it. Uh, or tranquilo, which means basically the same thing. And I think what it amounts to is just breathing and being present. And that's something that we often forget to do with our own writing because a lot of what we do here at Bardsey is teach you techniques. You've got a lot on your mind. It's like going to a tennis lesson and you're worried about holding the racket correctly and bringing it back in the proper way and watching the ball and the trajectory, and you've got all these things on your mind during a lesson and you cannot hit the ball to save your soul. And then you just need to sit with it and process some of these things sometimes and just think, but just take your time with it and reassess, well, what's this all about? So for you, Melanie, for example, you're worried about what your story is all about, and have we changed it in group too much, or have you changed it too much? And I would ask you to bring it back to what you want your reader to walk away with, and just think about that. Really, what you want your reader to get from the story. It's more than, I know you started this piece while you were in an MFA program, right? And so it was more of an exercise than anything else, I suspect. But has it become more personal for you? Has there become a more personal goal for you in completing this?
I guess I would answer that by saying some writer friends of mine, when I was focusing on poetry and short stories, really convinced me that you need to write a novel. Because that's what people read. Like, very few people read poetry anymore. Short stories, I feel like, don't have a very big audience. And I think they're right. I started it in my graduate program because I thought I could not do it on my own. And I know that's true. I couldn't have done it on my own.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it, the kernel of the idea for the story is personal. And I do want to see it through. I feel like I do know what it's about. My concern is that perhaps it's not being received in the way I think it's being projected.
Right, right. So what is it about?
It's about a father-daughter relationship that has never quite been right. And the core of the disconnect is because there's been dishonesty in their relationship, and they're both very principled people, and that truth kept them at arm's length.
So it's sort of a withholding of information. So that withholding, and withholding is an issue that everyone can relate to, the withholding of affection or information, truth. So, I mean, that really is at the heart of that. And I think that if you can go back to that and think about that, you started to get there, and we'll go over that in a minute. But, in the chess game, you were really starting to get at that this time. And so I think it is hovering there. And sometimes you do need to step back and take a breath and ask these questions, but not in a way that you were just hard on yourself or judgmental, but just, it's as simple as that. It's about a father-daughter relationship that's never been quite right because both principled actors in this relationship are withholding their own truth or truth from each other. That's what your story is about. It's as simple as that. Everything else you build onto that, but it's important to keep that in mind. And that's even smaller than the MCS. That's just simply the essence of your story. Now, Alex, you are dealing with very dramatic, overwhelming scene coming up, and you're setting it up in this chapter. Rather than talking about the next chapter, I want you to think about this chapter and about the relationship between Niccolo and his mom, and how over a 2-year period, he might be processing some feelings, because I do feel, and we'll get to this again in a few minutes, that it's not clear. Right now, the work feels a little contrived to me. It's like, okay, I have to get to this plot point, rather than organically stepping into it. So I'd love to see you kind of embody. In fact, I'd love to see you both embody scenes that you're working on right now in the pieces that we'll discuss today, and trying to pull out of them more sensory detail that relates to the mood, the tone of the piece, that gives clues about the people in the scenes. I'd like you to look into the dialogue you're creating and read your dialogue with others and see if it feels authentic. And I'd like you to think about, after listening to the dialogue that you have in your piece, Melanie, maybe with a friend, go through it. It might even, if you have a male friend or partner that you can read it with, it would be even better. And then say, does that sound real? Does that sound real? Is that convincing to you? And the same with you, Alex. You can do it with Juliet. So, and really think about whether you're drawing us into that room, into that conversation, into the heart of things through the use of natural dialogue and through all the sensory details. Because right now, I'm getting more of a talking heads feeling with both of them, which I noticed today. So it might just take that slowing down and feeling it, just really putting yourself in there, even though sometimes that can be painful. And next chapter, Alex, it's not going to be easy, but it's very, very difficult. We've all been to that dark place of losing somebody special, and it's hard to revisit those feelings, but that's an incredibly important part of your story. So you are going to have to do that. And if there's any way we can help you get through that, of course, we're happy to. So think, stop. Sometimes if you feel like, you have too much direction and you're losing your way, just stop, take a breath, and just sort of sit with it. I know it sounds very zen and wah-wah, but it's true. Just take a breath and put yourself in that scene and walk softly through it. And just keeping in mind only your ultimate goal with the story, and see if you can't get through it again in a way that deepens it, that makes it more relatable and resonant with the reader.
Bardsey provides the tools, guidance, and support you need to produce a compelling novel. Our well-researched and thoroughly tested approach includes our minimum complete story, a 90-second exercise designed to keep you on track and foster creativity, the Bardsey Publishability Index, a 23-dimension checklist that offers attainable goals and actionable feedback, and our brand new comprehensive character developer, a fun, interactive tool guaranteed to help you construct unforgettable characters. Come see it for yourself today at bardsey.com. Try our workshop or enter our first chapter contest. Then, when you're ready, Elite membership delivers directed writing groups and personal coaching within a curated community. With Bardsey's help, your work will captivate everyone, from agents to publishers, and most importantly, your readers.